Oh, fish on. Ooh, it's a crappie. Coming. Whoa! Spill the coffee over. Jeez. Well, you were worth a cup of coffee, I guess. Welcome to Angling Acumen. And on today's show, we're fishing for summertime crappies in a shallow lake. And what makes a lake like this a challenge is there's so much of the same. We have a massive expanse of 4 to 7 feet of water and almost all of it's weeds. And so what you're going to have is you might have a group of crappie here and a group of crappie over there, and they're scattered around. So to try to cast and find specific spots where the fish are can be a challenge. So what we're doing is a slow trolling technique. We're using our electric motor, and we're generally going to be trolling 1.2, 1.5 miles an hour. And the rigs that we're going to use, first rig is I got a 16th ounce crappie jig with a Southern Pro grub on it. You know, a lot of things on the market like that, you know, very similar. And I'm actually running a float, you know, about 4 feet, anywhere from 3 to 5 feet in front of the jig. And you're probably wondering, why am I doing that? Well, what we're doing is because we're going right above the weeds with this jig. And that's going to help maintain that jig above the weeds, but then also when we make a turn, if this is the inside rig, that jig is going to want to drop down into the weeds and get hung up, and just you don't want to constantly be doing that. And the float's going to help do that, and it just helps maintain that jig as you're trolling right above the weeds. And also it's very visual too. You got a visual, idea where that rig is all the time, and it'll even let you know when you've got a fish on. Second rig we're going to use is we got a little 2-inch swim bait. That's a little Bass Pro Shops swim bait with the internal weight. We got it rigged on a little size 0 jig spinner, size 0 jig spinner, 1, even a 2, and we're just going to slow troll that as well. So I'm using 7 to 7.5 foot light action rods, putting one on one side of the boat sticking out, one on the other side of the boat, and just covering water. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to see you're going to have some dead spots where you have nothing, and then you'll go through another spot and boom, 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 get a couple hits, and that just is the trend. Just keep going around, and if you need to, you can even drop waypoints in the spots where you're getting fish. But that'll move around. These schools aren't necessarily staying static. They might be moving around too. And so just this slow trolling technique just seems to be the most effective way to find these fish. In this particular situation on a lake like this, we're just to look at it like, where do I fish? Everything's the same, and that's just where trolling is just a great weapon. So let's get fishing. We got a lunker. Ho! What do we got here? Ooh, nice crappie. That's what we're looking for. Yeah. Yes, sir. Just the right size. Not too big, not too small. This one feels a little better. Oh, that's what we're looking for. On the jig. Oh, we just had a fish jump in front of the boat. I'm not sure what that was. All right, gonna get you in there. Regardless. All right, perfect. All right. A little flurry of activity here. Oh, what do we got here? Oh! What is that? What do we got here? We got a nice crappie. Okay, we're starting to have a nice day. Oh, we got a fish on the other rod. Geez, let's try and get this one in. Whoops. All right, we got you there. Got you here. It looks like another crop. There we go. Look at that. On the jig. So we're coming steady now on the jig and the jig spinner swim bait combination. Trolling about 1.2, 1.4 miles an hour with the electric motor. Right now that seems to be getting a ton. Okay, one option you do have, depending on your state regulations and the exact conditions of the lake where you're fishing, is you can do a 2-jig rig or even a 3-jig rig. We still have our float here maintaining that. We're using a loop knot. We got a jig and a plastic on there, and then we got another jig and a plastic on the bottom. So like I said, you can use 2 jigs, 3 jigs, again, depending on what your conditions are where you're fishing and your state regulations. All right, what do we got here? Oh, it's a big one. Multitasking at its best. There we go. That's much more desirable. Right. Striking crappie slabalicious. All right. Line's back in the water. We got everything out. Shot. Coffee out of the way. It's a slabber. Liking the jig spinner swim bait combo. Yeah. Oh, can't get through my sandwich. When we first got on the water, the lake was actually dead calm, but we picked up an occasional fish. Gradually the wind began to build up and our action was quite steady. Eventually the wind died back down and it warmed up into a shorts kind of a day, but we continued to pick up fish. Flip. Whoa, that's almost too big to flip. There we go. That's a decent one for our part of the world. Ah. These aren't Mississippi crappies, but will do. Oh! Ho, 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 ho. Look at that right there. That's what we're after. Better shot of that little 2-inch swim bait on that little jig spinner. They like that.